The UFC is headed to Baku for the first time, and we have a firefight, a very, very exciting fight at the top of this card. We have Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree, and in the co-main, we have Fazeev fighting in his hometown, his home country, versus a young, hungry prospect and killer in Bahamondes. It's going to be a great day of fights. It is going to be taking time in the morning and the afternoon for us here in the United States. I'm here in Las Vegas, so the card starts at 9 a.m. The main card doesn't start until noon. So it's going to be a good morning and a good afternoon of fights. And I love that we get to fight, or they get to fight in front of a crowd again. I'm loving these fight cards, the free fight night cards that are in front of crowds, and we're not at the Apex all quiet and anyways, if you guys have watched the channel, you guys know that we like to start from the bottom of the card and work our way to the top. So let's just jump right into it right now. And as we start off the day, start off the morning, we have the heavyweights going at it. We have Hamdi versus Muhammad Usman. Usman's brother just won last week at New Jersey against Buckley. So I'm sure there's some confidence coming in from the Muhammad Usman side with his brother. I'm sure he's getting a lot of encouragement and just positive vibes heading into this fight against Hamdi. But forget all the stuff outside of the octagon. Let's get back to the octagon and the fight. Hamdi will wrestle. He's going to wrestle. He is pretty active. He has some good stand up too. It's not the sharpest that you will see at heavyweight, but it is doable. And to mix in the wrestling on top of the stand up and striking that Hamdi has, he presents a tricky, average heavyweight. But Usman is huge, and compared to this fight, as you see, the weight, the reach, a big reach advantage. He's going to be taller. Oh, the both 6'2". I thought Usman looked bigger for some reason. So Usman is just going to have, goddamn, ESPN, but Usman's just going to have a huge reach advantage here. But again, Usman is not like he's still kind of bulky when he throws his strikes, so it's still a little bit not robotic. I think he is getting a little bit better. Things are coming a bit more natural to Usman, but it's still a bit green for me. And I think Hamdi just kind of looks better, especially mixing in the wrestling with some striking that Hamdi has. I think Hamdi wins this fight, but if Hamdi can't get these takedowns, because Usman is big and again training with his brother and in that gym, I'm sure he's training his wrestling skills, and his takedown defense is pretty good. So, and I think Usman is still growing in the sport. I know he's 36 years old and kind of came into the sport a little bit late in his athletic life, but um, I still think he has good training partners have me thinking like he can defend some takedowns here. And if Hamdi's not on his P's and Q's and doesn't bring his A game when it comes to these takedowns, and we're just stuck with a striking fight, Usman has some power to him. It's not the greatest power, but he does have a little bit of thud in his punches. I think things can get interesting for Hamdi if he can't get these takedowns. But I'm leaning Hamdi just because of the threat of a good technique striking mixed with the takedowns, and he may just push Usman against the cage and kind of rest on him. And I don't know. I'm seeing better things from Hamdi, but I'm not sleeping on Usman here to being a little small underdog here. But give me the favorite. Give me Hamdi to win by decision. Next fight, we have Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azat Maxim Azat. I think people are sleeping on Azat. I know he hasn't looked his record, as he's been in the UFC. I think he's had 2 fights in the UFC so far, and he's 15-1. People see the record and there's like, oh, this guy must be something, right? But I don't think he's looking like what his record is. Yes, the striking is there, but the takedown defense is still meh. And Tagir is known for he can mix things up, man. And he's still coming out of that Dagestan and Russia, and he trains with Khabib and all them. So the wrestling is still there. The threat of the wrestling is still strong with Tagir. Um, so I think he does get takedowns, but when it comes to the striking, this fight's going to be very, very exciting. So on the feet, I'm not sleeping on asshat here, and so the lines here are pretty. I don't think these lines are fair. They should be a lot closer than what the lines are giving us right now. What I'm seeing on ESPN is Tagir is a minus 525 favorite. Absolutely not. Again, Tagir can't be had. He can be. I think Ashak can land some good strikes on the feet, but it's the wrestling threat that Ulanbekov has that may just have me siding with Ulanbekov. And yeah, give me the Russian here. Give me Tagir. If you have some, Asshat is not a bad fighter to just put a little bit something on. You can sprinkle a little something on there, but it's the takedown defense it just has me backed up on not picking asshat here. And please don't fight like an asshat. Anyways, give me to gear. Mm, they got to gear by decision, but uh, eesh. Yeah, give me to gear to win by decision here. I think it's like a 29-28 type of thing. I think Assad may have moments that kind of sways the judges to winning him around, but I think Ulanbekov could win a 29-28 unanimous decision there. Next fight we have at the women's bantamweight division. We have Irene Aliskeva versus Claudia Segulia. So I'm gonna go with Aliskevov. Um yeah, I remember watching Claudia and I just was not impressed. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this fight, but I think Claudia, if she gets taken down once, this fight is over. That's just what I think. Aliskevov, um, let's see if she has any finishes, submissions here and there. Okay, so she has 2 submission wins in her short MMA career. I could see the same thing, man. I could see the same kind of outcome that she's probably used to getting as a submission win here. Give me Irene Aliskevov to win by submission. Again, Claudia, if she's taken down once, I think this is over. Either ground and pound TKO or my man here with the flat top over here is winning by a submission. So give me this young gentleman, Irina. Next fight we have Dara Zenlez ABCDEFG Kova versus Melissa Mullins. You know what, guys? I'm just gonna say either the first name or the last name, whatever is easier to say with these fighters, because since we're in a different world or a different country in the world, these names are gonna be ridiculous. So I'm just gonna warn you guys right now. I may just give you the first name or the last name. Who knows? But Daria. Again, the striking is okay for Daria, but it's, again, like I said with the last fight, the takedown defense is not there, dog. If she gets taken down once, I think this fight is over. Melissa Mullins is the dog, and Melissa Mullins does like to be violent, find the finishes. So I'm gonna take Melissa Mullins to find a finish here. I think Mullins is nasty, bro. Especially if she can get it in the top guard. I think she's going to land some nasty ground and pound here, or she can maybe find a little snatch up something. Who knows? Again, the striking is okay for Daria, but she just hasn't fought, good talent. And she did fight good talent with Aline Perez. Perez subbed her in round 1. Bro, it says Melissa Mullins already knocked her out in like 3 years ago. So yeah, dog, I'm going to take the Melissa Mullins here to knock her out again, maybe. Whatever line is better. They don't have lines out right now, but give me Melissa Mullins to find a finish here. Give me the under. Give me Melissa Mullins by the finish. It don't matter, dog. Daria still the same Daria from 3 years ago. I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying stock into this. So yeah, I think Melissa Mullins she's just violent. She's hungry for a finish. She looks for finishes. Give me Melissa Mullins. Next fight, we have the Iron Turtle. We have Junyoung Park versus uh Naridev. Ismail Naridev. Ooh, this is a good fight. Ismail is fighting at middleweight. I think he's finally found his, the correct weight class that he should be fighting in. I feel like he was like a tweener a little bit, trying to like fight at a lower level weight class, and I think so. I could be wrong about that, but I like Jung Young Park though. Like Park is someone that gets slept on, maybe because he's not like intimidating or anything like that. The physique is like not crazy, he doesn't have the muscles. But I feel like Park gets slept on a lot. But this man is durable. He has a chin. Uh just a worker, man. He just goes after it, and he really walks you down, and the output is nice. And so but Nardev, since he got back in the UFC, I think this is his second win in the UFC. I feel like. Let me just check real quick because I do feel like he was in the UFC. Oh yeah, he was in the UFC before fighting at welterweight. His last loss was to Sean Brady back in 2020, and he got cut in the UFC, and then he came back and fought Bruno Silva at middleweight, and he looked good. He looked good against Bruno Silva, but Bruno Silva doesn't have the best takedown defense. So, this is tough, man. I want to. I feel like Ismail is a a tricky underdog. It's really tempting, but I'm gonna go with what I know, and that's Jungyoon Park. Park is very underrated. Again, durable. He's gonna walk you down. He's gonna put it on you, and I think Park just wins by a decision here. So yeah, give me Park to win by decision. It's not looking good, man. I'm picking too many decisions here. Hopefully, the prelims bring a little bit more excitement and some good striking bouts, but I could see a lot more decisions here. And yeah, hopefully that's not the case. Next fight, the feature prelim of the card, we have Ko versus Oban Elliott. Give me Oban Elliott. I haven't done too much tape study on Ko, but I know Oban Elliott is showing out and improving every time he's going to the octagon. Every fight, I feel like we are seeing a better and more improved Oban Elliott. He is showing more of the striking. The striking looks better against Hafez. The striking is looking really good, looking really crisp on the feet. The wrestling is there. The Welsh gangster is improving, and I know Ko is, he has the striking. He is a dominant striker. Six wins by knockout. He's also been knocked out twice. So I would look to entertain maybe a knockout plus 225 by Oban Elliott. I know it's saying that this fight is destined to go to decision here because Oban Elliott may just get a little bit outclassed early on the feet and may look to wrestle and kind of just control and slow down the the striking output from a Ko. But I don't know, man. Just it's just the improvement that I'm seeing from Oban Elliott. And I was not an Oban Elliott guy like 2 years, like 2 fights ago. But these last two fights, this man showing me just like, give him a chance, right? So plus 500 submission by Oban Elliott to win by submission is not crazy. Looks like Ko hasn't even been submitted. So if you want to play that route, if you really believe in the skill set of a Oban Elliott, sprinkle something on that plus fit 500. It could be a nice play. But ah, damn dog, maybe Ko is just not. He's not it on the ground, and maybe he hasn't fought anyone who has this kind of ground game and wrestling like Oban Elliott has. Give me the Welsh gangster to win by submission. Ooh, I'm feeling a little spicy here. Now let's move on to the main card. We have Mohamed Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. Now I'm seeing a lot of love for Bogdan Grad this week, and I kind of don't get it. I'm not saying he's like terrible. Like I think he's okay, but man, this man he takes a lot of punishment. He gets hit a lot, and he's not moving his head. He's kind of just like he's almost just eating shots just to give shots, and I don't like that. I know Nemov is not everybody's cup of tea here, but I think Nemov with some good striking. I think his striking may be the underrated part of his game. He does throw some really good strong punches, and I think he can mix it up on the with the wrestling as well. Again, he's not a world beater when it comes to the feet and the striking. Nemov is, but I haven't seen Bogdan Grad to a better performance than what I've seen from Nemov in the UFC so far. I think Bogdan Grad is okay. I think he can come into his own here, but not this fight. I just think this is a big jump from. I think he fought like Lucas Alexander last, which is Lucas Alexander has a glass chin, so yeesh. Now beating an Aswell in the Dana White Contender Series is nice. He got knocked out by Tom Nolan. I don't know, man. I'm just like seeing Bogdan Grad barely getting by, and maybe that's all it takes. But against Nemov, who I just think he has a little bit or a lot more bit of just skills, and I know he beat a Con Ofli in his last fight, and Ofli just looked outclassed grappling in the wrestling, and Ofli was supposed to be known for his grappling and his wrestling, but I don't know, man. And like Nemov's win against Nathaniel Wood is still a good win to me, man. Nathaniel Wood has really found his a second win in his career at a new weight class, and the way Nemov beat him just 2 years ago, I like Nemov, man. So give me Nemov here. I get the Bogdan Grad love, but you know what? I don't get it. I don't get what you guys are saying with this. People who are betting on Bogdan Grad, maybe I'm gonna look like a dumbass uh Saturday night when Bogdan Grad if Grad wins, but I don't know. I don't see it. But if he does win and I'm wrong and you guys are right, congrats to you guys. You guys get a Donkey Kong punch to the head. Anyways, give me name off by I want to say a finish, man. I really want to say a finish. Give me name off by knockout. Been a little spicy. Next fight we have Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Moda. Boy, mm-mm-mm. Sadikov's going to finish this man in one round. I think it's going to be the first round. It's going to be a first round finish for Sadikov. Nicholas Moda, he has a Hail Mary of a right overhand, but I don't think it finds Nazim Sadikov. Sadikov coming out of that Ray Longo gym with Matt Serra and all them, and I like Nazim Sadikov. I like the skill set. He's very keeps everything tight, but man, he has some striking. He has some power in his hands to really finish the fight. And if it's not going his way on the feet, he has that wrestling to lean on. And I'm really liking the skill set of Nazim Sadikov here, man. Against Nicholas Moda, who hasn't really shown me a lot to be confident in. I'm taking Nazim Sadikov, bro. And with Sadikov finishing Bone Theme in his last fight, this man is looking nice, man. Now it's just the way how. How does Sadikov finish his fight? Yeah, give me KO, bro. Give me KO in the first round by Nazim Sadikov. Nicholas Moda, when things aren't going his way, he really just throws Hail Mary overhand rights, just throws punches without a care in the world of what's coming back to him. And that's kind of where things open up for Sadikov to counter punch and knock Nicholas Moda out in the first round. I think Sadikov may start fast. He's gonna stay cool, be on his defense mode, but I think he starts fast. I think Nicholas Moda gets knocked out in the first round. Give me Nazim Sadikov to win by KO in round one. Next fight we have Tofik Musafayev. I can't believe I just said that against this damn name. My K, thank you, Beck. Oral by. Okay. Anyways, so Musafayev is making his UFC debut at 35 years old. That's damn. He's really this man's really past the prime age, right? But this man has a lot of experience fighting in Ryzen and Bellator. It looks like the striking is looking like a very exciting striker. He has a lot of finishes and knockouts in his career. I don't know, man. I saw Bellator on his resume and the way these Bellator fighters have looked in the UFC. And after me being so disappointed in Patchy Mix, the way I was hyping up Patchy Mix to beat a Mario Batista, I'm still bruised, man. I'm still hurting from that. I'm still recovering from that loss. And the way I was talking up and Patchy Mix all fight week, and for him to go out there and look like that, I know these are two completely different fighters with different skill sets and different matchups. But man, I'm just scarred from anyone come from Bellator. And just seeing Bellator on his resume, it's scaring me, man. It really is. And I just can't go that way. I get that people will pick him as an underdog this week, but I've seen from Orbai, this man's wrestling is nasty. Um, he does have a big windup and punch power, but the wrestling and him closing distance and him getting his way on the ground, I think he has it. I think he has his way in the grappling in this. I think he kind of slows down Musafayev with the grappling and he takes away uh, the power that Musafayev has. He slows down the striker. Kind of eliminates the danger on the feet. Give me Orabai to win. Am I going to go by a finish here? Does a Bellator fighter get finished? Mm, nah, man. Just play straight up. If I think he Orabai is a good parlay piece here. Parlay him with like a Hamdi maybe. That's a good two fighter parlay. Yeah, give me Orabai to win. I think he gets a submission win. Give me Orabai by submission, but my favorite bet for that is just playing him at money line at minus 160. Is what I'm saying. Maybe you guys can get a better price for Orabai at your sports book. Next fight we have Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kuniev. We have another UFC debut person here with Kuniev. And watching the tape on Kuniev, I was like, okay, I like what I see. Just warning you guys right now for these last three fights on this card, I'm gonna kind of go into depth. So here it goes. So yeah, with Kuniev, what I saw from tape, I mean, he's been on the UFC Dana White Contender Series twice. I believe he won both of those times, and he was denied twice. Or he was denied once, and then he won by knockout in his last performance. That was last year in August, so almost a year. And then Dana White decided to sign him. So here he is on his UFC debut, and they're really just throwing him to the damn wolves here and giving him one of the more accomplished, well-rounded heavyweight fighters here with Curtis Blades. But Kuniev, though, it's not crazy to think that Kuniev wins here, and I say that because yeah, it's crazy to pick a UFC debut person against a very accomplished, established heavyweight fighter like Curtis Blades. But the way Kuniev is winning these fights is using his big body and his physicality to push these fighters against the cage, throw some nasty uppercuts in the clinch when they're up close against the cage. Does a lot of good work in the dirty boxing department, and then he really just kind of wearing on these fighters and just being more physical. And he's getting the takedowns. And when these fighters are getting back up, he's throwing punches. He's just being more active. And we kind of see the output here. He's landing 5, maybe 6 significant strikes landed per minute. So you see the activity when he gets these fighters against the cage. He's going to throw an overhand right, close the distance. He's really good at, and he's really fast at just really stepping in and invading that personal space of his opponent just to getting just to get them pushed up against the cage. So he's really fast at getting in and having his way physicality wise when he gets to the body. So I do think this fight kind of goes that way of him using the physicality, getting Blades against the cage, and kind of just doing some dirty work in the clinch, landing uppercuts, getting some takedowns. Uh, Blades being a great wrestler and having him, he's going to get his way back to his feet. But having Kuniev just repeatedly going through this cycle, it's not crazy to think he wins this fight. But with Curtis Blades, on the other hand, I was kind of digging through his resume as of late, and I was like, damn, like maybe it wasn't that great. Like maybe Curtis Blades wasn't what we all thought. I know his wins are like, damn, Curtis Blades just won. Or when he lost, he's getting knocked out by one of the more powerful striker fighters in the division. So let's take a walk in this resume of Curtis Blades. He just lost. He got knocked out last year to Tom Aspinall, who is now the champion, the champ. God damn it. Can we strip John Jones, please? Thank you, Dana. So his last win was last year in March, okay? It was against Almeida. But if we watched that fight, Almeida was ragdolling Curtis Blades for the first round. And then come the second round, Almeida gets sloppy, shoots for a takedown, but leaves his head exposed on the side of Curtis Blades' like hip. And then Curtis Blades is landing these elbows, these fists to the side of the head, and down goes Jalton Almeida. Okay. So you get the finish, which is really, really good. Okay. No, I'm not taking anything away from that. But the first round, don't make it seem like you just outclassed Almeida. You were getting ragdolled by Almeida, and then that happened. So you were losing that fight until you got the knockout. And then you ran into Sergey Pavlovich, got knocked out again. Okay. And then you have a win against Tom Aspinall, where Aspinall threw the kick and he injured himself. He broke his leg or his knee or something like that, and they stopped the fight because Aspinall was hurt. Before that, we got Chris Daukaus. Chris Daukaus had trouble at 205, and then decided to go to heavyweight, and he was getting knocked out. This man's chin is glass. Chris Daukaus couldn't handle the power at heavyweight, and this man is cut from the UFC, no longer to be found. The win after that, we have Jairzinho Rodenstrike. Rodenstrike has always struggled against wrestlers. That was his downfall, and Francis Ngannou, who knocked his ass out. Downfall. And Jairzinho, I feel like Rodenstrike really underachieved. I feel like Rosenstrike could have been, a good, steady fighter in the heavyweight division, but I feel like he underachieved with his skill set, and just it's a disappointment that Biggie Boy couldn't really stay in the UFC and get these wins when his career needed it. It sucks. And then he ran to Derek Lewis, got knocked out again, another power puncher, and then before that we have wins against Volkov, great win. JDS, he was on his way out. Shamil knocked him out. Shamil's okay, but come on, man, you're just too fast on the feet. I get it. Justin Willis, oh, okay, bro, nice. And then you got Francis Ngannou. When you really dig into the resume of Curtis Blades, you start to question, and that's kind of what's going on with me. Is I'm questioning this fighter right now where he's at 34 years old. Kind of made his rounds in the heavyweight division already. Curtis Blades was known for being a wrestler, was known for being the best wrestler in the division a few years ago. But this man hasn't been using his wrestling as of late, and I don't know why he's gone away from it. I know his boxing and the striking has improved a lot, and kudos to you. But he's getting away from what it brought him to the dance, and that was his wrestling. I mean, he just kind of stopped shooting takedowns, and it's not being used, So if Curtis Blades doesn't use his wrestling here and He may just use it for defensive purposes and getting back to his feet, maybe stuffing the takedowns. I feel like he's still going to get pushed up against the cage, get bullied, and I'm really liking the UFC debut in Kuniev here, and he's going to be my dog number one pick for this card. So give me Rizvan Kuniev to win by. Hmm, I don't know if Kuniev has the power to knock out Blades. I know he has a big overhand right. Maybe he can find slip a uppercut when they're in the clinch and maybe knock out, maybe clip a Curtis Blades. I don't know, man. I just maybe the power's there for Kuniev. I don't know, but my favorite bet is just money line Kuniev. I think Kuniev is maybe stylistically just a a good matchup for Curtis Blades, or is a bad matchup for Curtis Blades. Just the physicality of Kuniev. I just see the underdog here, maybe pulling the upset here against a really established heavyweight fighter. Yeah, give me Kuniev, and my favorite bet for this is just money line the underdog here. And in the co-main event, we have a great fight. July 4th has come early for us in the United States, baby. We have Rafael Fiziev versus Encarnacio Bahamondes. What a fight. What a fight. What a fight. This is a great fight for the young man, the 27-year-old Bahamondes. This is a great test for him to kind of see if he has the skill set to kind of break through that top 10. I don't know where Fiziev is at, where he's ranked at, but I believe Bahamondes might just be outside of the top 10, and Fiziev may just be in that top 10 area, below top 10, 8, 9. I don't know. But skill set wise, this is a very fun fight. I see very little takedowns here. This should be just a straight striking fight. Um, I think Fiziev would be silly to shoot a takedown here and have and you want to play in Bahamondes' guard. Nah, man. What he just did to Jalen Turner, retired that man. I don't know if you want to play down there. Pause. But Bahamondes is training with Bilal, and it looks like he's learning a lot of good things. Bahamondes has really sharpened his skill set, his tools, and he's looking great, man. He's looking promising. Again, submitted Jalen Turner earlier this year in March, and I was hyped. I picked Jalen Turner to win that fight because I feel like Bahamondes is fighting someone with a little bit a longer reach than him, and can have the tall man versus tall man in this division and kind of face off. And I thought Bahamondes was going to struggle. Um, Turner did get that takedown. Jalen Turner did stay down there too long on the ground with Bahamondes, but Bahamondes was just working off his back and he pulled off the triangle. Again, this man is so active on the feet, off his back, in someone else's guard. Like Bahamondes is so active, and he's just always chasing and looking for things. And I don't know if Fiziev wants to get this fight to the ground. I know Fiziev is kind of using his wrestling a little bit more. I don't know if he's going to be like shooting 5 takedowns, but we saw him shoot at least 2 takedowns in that Justin Gaethje fight earlier this year. And I don't know, but Bahamondes knocking out Manuel Torres at UFC Noche. Um, I think that was a great kind of stylistic matchup for Bahamondes. I did pick Torres, so it's kind of showing me fading Bahamondes a lot in his career, or a few times, but he's always kind of proven me wrong. But yeah, the counter that he knocked out Torres with twice, the same punch, if it looked like, just again, Torres is there to be hit, so I shouldn't be surprised. But the way it looked phenomenal. The way he knocked him out. Now, his last loss with Bahamondes was against Ludovic Klein, where Klein kind of used his wrestling, was a bit more physical with Bahamondes with the wrestling, kind of just outclassing him a little bit. It looked like with Klein just being a little bit more, doing a little bit more, being ahead of Bahamondes in that fight. But the wrestling was really the big difference. I felt like with in that fight against decline. He's going up against someone who is from Baku. He's going to be, Fazeev is fighting in his home country, and that may just add a little bit something to Fazeev here fighting in front of his people. But with Fazeev is kind of had a very interesting career so far, and especially in the last like couple years. So he's coming off of that loss to Justin Gaethje. He took that fight on short notice, came up short in that fight. He had a great first round, but again, taking that fight on short notice against someone who was so game like Justin Gaethje. So he loses to Gaethje on short notice, coming off an injury against Gamrot. Now, yeah, that Gamrot injury was in 2023. Fazeev threw a kick and he broke his leg or something like that against Gamrot. That sent him out for 2 years. He decided to return against Gaethje and he lost. The fight before Gamrot was the other Gaethje fight, and it was a majority decision. I thought Fazeev edged that fight, and I feel like that's kind of gave him the confidence to take that fight against Gaethje in March on short notice because he thought he kind of had Gaethje's number. But yeah, we saw that how that went. So he's coming off this. So he's coming off a 3-fight losing streak, and very interesting spot for Fazeev. I think Fazeev is going to look a lot better with a quick turnaround ish. I mean, this fight was in March. It is June, so I feel like he healed up a little bit. Maybe didn't take that much damage, and kind of just jumped right back into the gym. Now he jumped into another camp, and now he's fighting against a young, exciting fighter here. But his last win was against RDA, and RDA at I feel like fight was at lightweight. It was at lightweight, so it was an older RDA, but Fazeev knocked him out in the 5th round. So I don't question the cardio because I feel like the cardio is there, and I know he looked tired in his last fight, but again, that last fight with Gaethje was on short notice, so I know he just wasn't there cardio wise, wasn't all the way there. And then his last win before RDA in 2022 was in 2021 against Brad Riddell. So he really got that jump. They pushed him after the RDA win to go up against Justin Gaethje, and just hasn't looked like him. I mean, not look like himself, but he had a good showing in that. Just kind of fell short again in that majority decision in there. Now with this fight, man, it's gonna be, can Fazeev just stay out of the way of those long punches coming his way from Bahamundez? Now Bahamundez doesn't have the best um like defense on the feet. He does get hit a lot, but Bahamundez just has a durable chin, and he's looked like he's taking the shots well, and he's still 27 years old, so he's still looking pretty good. But Fazeev is also not knocking out everybody. So I know he knocked out RDA, but that was in the 5th round against an older fighter, aging fighter. So people could try to sell me on that power, but I just don't know. And Fazeev's going to have to cover a lot of distance and close distance and get into the space of Bahamundez and land. And Fazeev really sets up a lot of things with his kicks. He has the great body kicks, good work to the body. But if you can't reach the taller opponent here in Bahamundez with your kicks, I feel like it's going to be hard for you to kind of set up things and get things going with your offense. So, and the output of Bahamundez on the feet with the striking, this man is always just feeling out, punching at like 60%. I feel like there's just a lot of feelers, just filling out the range, and then he really lets things go with power. And if he can find Fazeev on the end of these punches, I think Fazeev may get rocked, and I feel like he may get finished here. Again, if Bahamundez smells blood, this man's a shark, and he's going to kill you, bro. I could see snatching up a sub when Fazeev is hurt. So if your neck is there to be exposed, I think Ignacio Bahamondes could find that neck and snatch something up on him. I think Vazeev loses this fight, and I think it's time for him to think about that cutting that weight to 145. I think he's just a little bit too small for 155, and this weight class of lightweights, they're just filling out. They're dense, they're big. Um, they're really pushing the limit of 155ers right now as far as weight goes. So he's really fighting some really thick 155ers, and I think Fazeev is just too small for these guys, man. I think Fazeev's power could carry very, very well if he can go to 145 and have that power. I think he would do great at 145. If he can find a way to cut that weight and maintain that power, I think Fazeev should be like in the top 10, top 7 really, really quick. Again, I this fight's tricky because of Fazeev's ability to he's so fast. He's really sharp. He really snaps the kicks. Um and does great body work. So Baja Mendes is really gonna have to manage his distance really, really well on Saturday and just throw some feelers out there, get a feel for the range, let things go as you're kind of picking up the timing on Fazeev. Give me Ignacio Bahamondes to win this fight, though. Give me, bro, plus 900. Plus 900. I by submission, bro, for Bahamondes. I could definitely see a club and sub by Bahamondes if because Fazeev gets hit a lot too. I know he has a really nice style, but I think Bahamondes could land, and Bahamondes he's growing as a striker. He's improving his striking and being trained by Canelo hands. Bilal. I think Fazeev could get rocked, and I feel like Fazeev has been rocked in a few of his fights because it's not like he's technically sound defensively on the feet. I think he can get touched up here, bro. I might sprinkle something on that plus 900 though. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Bahamondes is so active with his striking, his submissions. You can never know. But bro, give me Bahamondes to win by submission. It's send it. And then the main event, we have a very, very exciting fight, man. We have Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree. They rebooked it, and now we get to see it in front of fans. They get to fight in front of a crowd of people who look like they're very, very excited for this fight. They're really kind of doing this a little bit different. I feel like we're kind of getting like a mini embedded series here this week. They just dropped something with Khalil over there landing in Baku and kind of just following him around with cameras. So this fight night feels a little bit different, like a mini pay per view a little bit, which I really really like. We're kind of getting a more insight on these free fight nights, and I don't know, man. I like the feel. I like the feel of this free fight night card. So, but man, I'm shocked. I'm shocked to see Khalil Rountree a favorite. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I know he's coming off a really impressive performance of Poatan that was last year in October. He gave Poatan some trouble. He kind of worked Poatan. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Poatan looked like he was in trouble. Looked like he had Poatan stunned and hurt. But that Poatan chin at 205 is a little bit shit's kind of crazy, bro. So Khalil Rountree puts up a good effort against Poatan, a great effort. But he was finished in the fourth round. And if you look at the other fights that he's had before that Poatan fight, because I feel like they were looking for a fighter to place against Pereira, and they put Khalil Rountree in that spot, and he just kind of had the performance of his life for like a round or two, and Pereira kind of picked up steam, kind of got into a groove with the striking, and Khalil got knocked out. But if you look before that, he fought Anthony Smith, yikes, Chris Dawkins, yikes, Dustin Jacoby, okay. split decision against Jacoby, Carl Robeson, and let's look a little bit further here. Modestus Bukauskas, where he kicked his knee in and broke it, and then he lost against Marcin Prachnio, Ian Kutalaba, Johnny Walker. Now it's those losses, bro. It's those losses against Prachnio. That loss against Prachnio is the reason why I had trouble picking Khalil Rountree in a lot of these fights, especially in this win streak that he had after that fight. I had trouble getting confidence back in Rountree after that Prachnio fight because Khalil Rountree's biggest problem was: is this man going to show up? Is he focused? Is his mind there? Because when his mind is there and he's focused on the fight, this man is unbelievable. He has all of the skills, strong, nasty Muay Thai kicks. This man is nasty. But when he's mentally there, this man is a top 5 in the division. But he's kind of had these inconsistencies where he doesn't show up fight day and he just kind of looks bleh. He just looks meh, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell's who is this guy? Like, I don't know who this guy is. He gives me those performances, and that's why I've kind of had trouble with him. But so I get recency bias here against him coming off that performance against Pereira. But I'm having trouble of like, what if he gave so much in that performance and so much in that fight to where he doesn't reach that level again, and he kind of hits a downfall in his career right now. We kind of see him slowly treading down in his career. What if he gave so much in that prayer fight? There's just this fall off, right? Because he gave a lot. He almost finished Pereira. He gave so much in that fight, man, and he almost did it. But to have the belt snatched away from you when you thought you have won that and you get finished in the 4th round, what does that do to you? I know he had to go back and just get his mind right after almost finishing Pereira, but like, what are you feeling right now, bro? Like, that's what I'm saying. Now, people are very, very low on Jamal Hill. People don't like Jamal Hill. I totally get it. He's been annoying. He's been a pain in the ass on socials. He's been talking so much. This man doesn't shut up. This man's coming off he's coming off 2 losses. Okay, and that's against Pereira, where he became a meme, and then he is coming off getting knocked out against Yuri Prohashka. Now, in that Yuri fight, there were some very, very exciting exchanges of punches. I mean, they were both landing on each other. Jamal Hill, um, he had hands, man. He had a good performance that fight. Again, it was a very entertaining fight, a really good back and forth when it came to trading punches with Prohashka. Well, Prohashka just got the better of it and got the knockout in the 3rd round. I really like that. I mean, I like that performance from Hill. I know he got knocked out, but after that Pereira fight, fighting the number 1 contender in Prohashka, it was a big fight, man. Like, it was. And he kind of showed that he is like kind of there almost, but he looked a little bit slow here and there. But to have that kind of performance against that strong of a striker, and he kind of ate those punches from Prohashka too. Now, it didn't end well. He got finished in the 3rd round, but you see what I'm saying though. He he traded punches and he ate some punches, but it was tough, man. And I really like that performance from Jamal Hill coming off the injury, coming off that little bit of layoff, a little bit from getting finished by Poatan. Man, I think Jamal Hill is getting disrespected here a little bit. The striking is still there, the hands, the boxing. He looks in better shape this week than he's had it in previous fights. So I really think he was still messing with the injury a little bit, maybe a little bit in that Prohashka fight, and his conditioning wasn't fully there in that fight. He did look a little bit slow, but I think we see a really focused, tuned in Jamal Hill And I think he lands and has his way in these exchanges with the punches against Khalil Rountree. I'm going to pick the underdog here, Jamal Hill, to win this fight to beat a Khalil Rountree. And I think it kind of goes the distance. I think this fight goes the 5 rounds. I think I think Jamal Hill is suiting up for a 5 round fight. The way his body looks, conditioned well. I think he's conditioning to go 5 rounds. I think Khalil Rountree is tough. If anyone does get knocked out, I think Khalil Rountree gets knocked out. But I think Khalil Rountree just has trouble defending the boxing and the straights of Jamal Hill. I think Khalil Rountree could get caught, could get stumbled, but I think um, he's tough enough, yes, like durability wise, but I think he just has this will in him to kind of just give it all one more time before I think his career kind of takes a little bit of a decline here. Give me Jamal Hill by decision here. Okay, they're looking for a finish here. They're predicting a finish in the main event. That's not crazy. I know both of these guys are coming off losses to being knocked out, and they both have power. But these guys just fought Poatan, who has a left hand from hell, a left hook from hell, and then Hill just fought Prohashka, who has power in his hands too. No. All right, give me KO Jamal Hill. Yeah, Jamal Hill by KO, and I will definitely take the over 1.5 rounds. I think it goes past. I think they're just too durable. They may fill each other out for a little bit, but I think they could just take their time getting into this fight, and stuff like that. So that's what I see. I'm gonna read off my picks one more time, and I don't have a lot of dogs. Obviously, I have 2 dogs on this fight. So let me start from the bottom and work my way to the top with my picks. So the final picks for UFC Baku is we have Hamdi, we have Tagir Ulanbekov, we have my man with the fresh fade with the high top, Aliskivov. We have Mullins. We have Jung Young Park. We have the Welsh gangster in Elliott. In the main card, we have Naimov. We have Sadikov. We have Orobai. And then I have the UFC debut pulling off an upset here with my dog number 1. We have Kuniev. And then in the co-main event, I have Bohemondez. And in the main, I have Jamal Hill winning by KO. I think it's going to be a great fight card. Um, sorry, remember, it starts early. Me, who lives in the United States and is on the West Coast, it starts at 9 a.m. So remember that, guys, the time difference. And have fun, man. Have fun with this card. You know, have a good morning. Have a good afternoon of fights. And I'll see you guys on the next breakdown. We have a huge pay-per-view coming next week. UFC International Fight Week is here, and I may just pop out to those expos because it is in my home city right now. I'm in Vegas, so I may just have to pop down there, go to the ceremonial weigh-ins. Who knows? But I'll see you on the next breakdown. Peace.